When controlled, fire is our friend. But uncontrolled, fire can quickly become our worst nightmare.
911 emergency.
Oh my God, please come quick. My house is on fire.
Your house is on fire?
Yes.
Every 16 seconds, a house fire is reported in the United States. Each year, thousands of people die in house fires, and tens of thousands suffer severe burns and other injuries. Fire does not discriminate. We are all equally at risk. But there are ways to minimize that risk, especially when we understand the nature of house fires and what to do if you find yourself faced with the unthinkable. Join us as we explore the facts and the myths, the realities and the misconceptions about fire. Go with us inside a burning home and experience a fire from a first-hand perspective, and learn what you and your family can do to survive when seconds count. You may think your home is safe from the potential of fire, but statistics tell a different story. Consider this. While you are watching this program, over 200 fires will be reported in the U.S. At least 4 people will lose their lives, be injured, or face long, painful rehabilitation in burn centers, perhaps never to resume the same quality of life.
We see a lot in our business, and a lot of bad things. And one of the worst things that I think I've seen is a burn victim.
I think that the average person has a misconception that a fire will never happen to them.
I've been in fires where we've seen the fire start in different sections of the house, and the heat and the gases have traveled to other sections of the house or upper floors, and the heat was so intense to where it actually melted televisions or phones, and seeing a dial and a blob of plastic.
The fireman later told me that very room reached over 1,200 degrees. He said aluminum melts at 1,200 degrees, and it melted the aluminum frames right off the windows in there, just like candles. They just ran like candles.
Unlike Hollywood, a real fire is very difficult to see, oftentimes very black. It's unable to see your hand in front of your face, making it extremely difficult to get out of your home.
The hardest part was trying to get a breath and then run back in. When you're told don't ever do that kind of, but I don't care who you are, you're going to do what you can to save your children. So I put myself in harm's way.
Since fire rapidly consumes massive amounts of oxygen, your first danger is being lulled into a deep, oxygen-deprived sleep from which you can't wake. Many victims actually suffocate before smoke or flames ever reach them.
Been on more than one fire where we found people lying on the couch or in the bed. They were overcome by smoke, hot gases, and they died in that same position that they went to sleep in.
But imagine for a moment that you do wake, only to rise into the superheated air that hugs the upper half of this room. One breath of this air, nearly 800 degrees at eye level, can literally scorch the lungs. A burning house emits a deadly cocktail of toxic gases like acrolein, carbon monoxide, formaldehyde, ammonia, and even hydrogen cyanide. As you try to escape, you create a vacuum for the oxygen-starved fire, and in what's termed a flashover, everything combustible inside the home instantly ignites and the house literally explodes. In a case like this, you'd likely never stand a chance.
Whether you plug it in, it generates heat, or uses energy, it can start a fire. And if it can start a fire, it can take everything that you love.
In order to understand how effective, or in some cases ineffective, fire protection equipment can be, we must first understand the force that is a burning building. We're going to show you a story filed by ABC News Primetime's Jay Shadler as he takes us inside a burning home for a sobering look at every family's fear.
This single-family home was scheduled to be demolished, but instead it's going to burn. 15 video cameras have been brought in to record the events.
We also have a couple of cameras in the kitchen, which, by the way, is where most home fires begin. These 2 cameras are in a fireproof box with a clear view of the living room where the fire should begin.
One smoke detector is placed on the living room wall, another in a backroom nursery. Drapes, furniture, and appliances, including a fan for ventilation, have all been brought in to replicate a typical home. And it begins so slowly, so silently. as if the fire knows to wait until you're asleep.
This thing has been smoldering for 15, 20 minutes now.
And this smoke is enough here to deaden your senses.
I can't believe how much smoke is in there already, and the smoke alarm has not gone off.
30 minutes pass while the ashes continue to smolder. 30 minutes of silence from the smoke detectors.
You wake up in those blinding, choking seconds, frantic, and if you really don't know what to do, most cases you're going to become a statistic.
Steve McInerney and I will join 3 other firemen in the first team to go inside.
Oh boy, it's hot on my back. It's really hot on my back, I can feel that. Oh my God! It's coming right over the top of us. The heat on my back is amazing. But the carpet is on fire. I got you, Steve. I can feel the heat right through my gloves. It's pitch black in here. I can't see anything.
The fire is fought in total darkness. We creep along the edge of a side wall toward the back nursery.
Where's the crib? Yeah, it's too hot. It's too hot. There is no way a child or adult could make their way through here.
We have almost a timeline on the fire in a way, don't we?
Exactly.
Tell me about that.
And you can see that the smoke moved back here. It's much blacker here in the back.
Right.
Because the smoke is seeking the path of least resistance, and that was an open door. So what happened is that drew the smoke and heat.
This is the children's room. Look at this. Now look.
Down here.
You come across the top of the crib. That's what was in the baby's lungs, or would have been.
And that's the stuff that's quiet and deadly. That just comes down on top of you like a blanket.
Just because you have smoke detectors doesn't mean that they're going to work and save you or your home. Most recently, we went on a house fire where 4 o'clock in the morning, the homeowners were in bed, children were asleep, and the neighbor noticed smoke rolling out of the eaves and out of the vents. And luckily, was awake at the time of the morning, came over and beat on the door, woke the occupants up, got everybody out safe, and the detectors never alarmed.
There are different types of detectors available. The most common in homes is the ionization detector. Chances are you are one of the millions of families who go to sleep every night with this type of detector in your hallway. It works like this. Ions flow between 2 metal plates. When smoke particles enter the chamber, the flow is interrupted and the alarm is triggered. If you burn toast in your kitchen and your smoke alarm goes off, you would probably conclude that it would function adequately in any kind of fire. Well, think again. Burning toast and kitchen smoke usually produce lots of small particles, just the right combination to block the flow of ions. But the smoke particles produced by, say, a burning sofa could have a larger charge, are fewer in number, and often don't interrupt the flow of ions. The result? Your alarm might not sound, and you and your family may not be protected. Tim DeDeer, today an arson investigator and fire protection specialist, performed the risk analysis research when he was a graduate student at Texas University.
Tests showed a big quality difference in between the ionization and the optical detector, and it was a big shock to everyone. Well, there's a misconception out there that a lot of people think they have the proper protection or enough protection, and the truth is, most of us don't have enough protection, and we need more.
The tests found that over time, these types of detectors have a 55.8% probability of failure in a smoldering fire.
I've actually seen cases where the smoke detector actually never did go off, it melted.
Actually, we were standing outside watching the house burn, and we heard the fire alarms, the smoke alarms finally start beeping when we were outside. They did not go off while we were in the house.
Just about a month before the fire actually happened, the fire department had been out testing smoke detectors in the area and had just put brand new batteries and tested my smoke detector. So that was quite bothersome to us that, you know, I mean, our house was full of smoke. It was billowing out of all of the windows, and yet our smoke detector never went off.
My house was at the time a 4-year-old brand new home with 7 smoke detectors. They were wired in with battery backup. I knew they all worked. We were very diligent on replacing batteries and things like that for it. And that's when it kind of dawned on me, wow, I never had none of my smoke detectors were going off. So I felt a sense of, I guess, bewilderment why that didn't happen, why they weren't going off at the time. And the amount of smoke in there is what I think bothered me, is that, wow, later on, how can these smoke detectors not one go off? It was enough to hinder my breathing, so why are these not going off? In a fire, you don't realize that you lose all your everything, every picture, every video, everything that I've ever possibly worked for.
It's pretty easy to say, well, I'll just go out the door, but if you can't remember where the door is or get disoriented and can't find your door, well, then you can't get out.
I can't think of anything any worse. I've seen wrecked victims, I've seen people stabbed, I've seen people shot, I've seen people die of cancer, but I don't know that there is anything in comparison to a mother or a father listening to their children as they're trapped in a burning home and they're not able to get them out.
You know, you always think you got time, but it went real as fast. I've never seen anything go so fast. It just takes a matter of seconds because a fire can wipe you out, and it wiped us out.
Prepare your house in the best way you can, because if my kids had been asleep back in the bedrooms, we wouldn't have got out.
911 dispatch 50. There's a fire at my house. Let me give you the fire department. Hold on. Hurry.
Terror. Absolute terror.